140 times. 140 times this woman decided to stab her husband. But that's not even counting the meat cleaver. Let's get into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, back with another one. WHITEBOY Lockdown Radio here. Smash the subscribe button and share it. Let's get Team WHITEBOY Lockdown Radio Man up and over 8K. Shout out to my subs and a big salute and shout out to my members. Look, I apologize for this one. We are back with Florida. I've been telling y'all for a long time now, Florida is shot out. This one here, though, is demented and sick, twisted and evil. You got a lady here, Joan Burke. She's charged with first-degree murder. This woman stabbed her husband 140 times. Okay? 140 times with a knife. Think about that for a second. She's 61 years old. Here's the picture. Let me read this to you. And I want you to think about 140 times. And that's not even counting the meat cleaver. A Palm Springs woman made her first court appearance Sunday in her own husband's murder. Joan Burke, 61, allegedly stabbed her husband, 62-year-old Melvin Weller, more than 140 times. Police said they got the call from Weller's stepson, a 41-year-old Ricardo Green, when Green came home from work and found Weller lying in a pool of his own blood. According to police, there was blood on the walls, cabinets, kitchen counters. Several knives and a meat cleaver were found in the kitchen sink as well. Police said Burke was found in the master bedroom lying in silence. An autopsy found that aside from the numerous stab wounds, Weller suffered a fractured skull by the meat cleaver. Burke had lacerations on her hands, which police said is common among offenders. She's in jail on no bond, first-degree murder. First thing I want to talk about is they say there's lacerations on her hand. Why is it that it's almost common? Leave this in the comments. I really would like to know. Whenever you hear about somebody who's stabbing somebody who attacks somebody with a knife, the attacker always has lacerations on their hands, almost like the knife slipped or whatever have you. I can understand that by actually just verbally saying that right here. She stabbed him so many times, I'm sure the blood got on her hand and slipped the knife, maybe the grip. But this lady is on another level. Look, she's 61 years old. She's not a spring chicken. Her husband's 62. It couldn't have been like an infidelity thing. I mean, it could. He could have cheated on her. Look, I don't know. There's probably some grandma social media sites out there where they're exchanging dick pics and whatnot. I couldn't tell you. But I mean, really think about this for a second. What happened here? It seems like when the cops found this lady, there's blood on the walls, the kitchen cabinet, the sink. It's everywhere. And a meat cleaver. At what point did she switch? What point did she switch? I mean, you would think to ration this out, to try to justify and paint this in a normal circumstance, you'd think she popped him with the meat cleaver first and then hit him 140 plus times. But if she just starts jabbing him, and then then she switches to grab the meat cleaver, bam, in the head. Is that when she slips and gets the lacerations? What is it? Which one is it? It's out of control. You know what wasn't here is this. For my dudes watching, and I guess for the ladies as well. You ever been into an altercation? If you can't understand this part I'm about to say, then I'm sure that you know somebody or have been in the circumstance of this. Either yourself or have you been in a circumstance where you're fighting somebody. And at some point, one of your friends or a bystander or whatever have you said, hey, that's enough. Because at that point, you have gotten the better of that person so good. Maybe they landed on the ground and you're mounted on top of them and just dropping rights and lefts and pounding them. So it's You're in the heat of the moment, and you're really trying to cause harm here, that someone else has to remind you of the reality. They have to say, hey, that's enough, man, that's enough. You got him. And then the reality hits for a second. You're so mad, they're like, hey, that's enough. Reality hits. And then you're like, oh, okay. Damn, he is messed up. Let me stop. That guy was not there. That guy was not there. 140 times. This made me think of prison. I've seen some crazy shit in prison. Okay, there's a year worth of videos about it, and I'm still not done. We're gonna get back to the prison experiences here shortly. But I think about the most disgusting situation I've seen with a knife, and I've spoke about this before. It's a very, very old video called The TV Room, and in this video I speak about the people changing the TV. There's a Muslim guy who fought a DBD. And they took it outside. They actually fought, and the gang member beat up the Muslim pretty bad. He almost embarrassed him. But then they ran it back outside the next day, and the Muslim snuck a razor in his mouth and called him out on the side of the building. And when they went to squabble up, he took that razor and he hit him so many times. It looked like a real horror movie. Okay, I'll never forget this scene. I'll never forget this vision. I'll never forget this, what I saw for the rest of my life. And it was so graphic and disgusting. And this guy slept right by me that got cut. I remember when he first beat the dude, he was bragging about it, but then to see, I was at the dip bar with JD, he comes about the channel a lot, dip and pull-up bar. And when the Muslim slips this razor out of his mouth, he just starts dicing this guy. His blood was shooting out of his arms, neck, face, chest, like a water fountain. It was literally like a horror movie. It was disgusting. Definitely skipped dinner that night. But this guy, when he did this, he really hit him a lot of times. Yeah, what I mean is, he tricked him for his get back on the fight, but he took the razor out of his mouth and he hit him. Now imagine they're exchanging. So I'm doing it in slow motion. What he did, he's like, he really diced this dude up. Okay? I don't know how many times he did it. 20, 25 cuts. Something like that. 140. 140 times plus, and a meat cleaver. All the utensils were in the sink. So she probably wanted her to wash the murder weapons off. There's blood all over the walls. That stuff stains pretty big. And when they found her, she was silent in her own room, in her own master bedroom. That tells you a lot right there, right? I wonder what the hell was going through this lady's mind. Her life ends right there. She's 61 years old with a 41-year-old stepson. It's safe to say she doesn't have mom in her life anymore. I don't know. She could. But when you get to 60-something years old, usually your mom's not around, or your dad. So all you have is your son. You know, you have your family, but there's no mom. What my point is, no mom. Mom and dad is gone. You just killed husband. And you're gone. You just took yourself away from your kids. Your life is completely done. What was going through her mind? I wonder what that was. Leave it in the comments. What do you think? She's silent, sitting there like, I am screwed. But this is a real psycho, man. My point is, this is a real psycho. A real psycho. Somebody to do this for 141 plus times. I'm giving you a real life example of a gang member who tried and planned to really do harm to another gang member because his pride was hurt, and he planned a razor and he diced this guy up so bad that they airlifted him out of the facility. But 25 times, I didn't sit there and count. I'm guessing it couldn't have been 25 times if it was even that. I'm thinking about other prison stuff that I've seen. Really, really bad things. nowhere near 140 times. I've seen a sergeant get stabbed. This guy, when I went to get pancakes one morning, got stabbed right in front of me. I was shitting a brick because I walked over the dude, and I didn't know if they're gonna come at me as like try to like apply pressure to me because I'm a witness at that point. I couldn't. Look at the story. I don't know. There's nothing that I seen in there with a weapon even comes close to this woman. 140 plus times with a meat cleaver. I'm gonna be following this one. Look, I googled her. I read everything that there is. I'm gonna leave this in the pinned comment in the description. It'll be there. Check it out. But follow the story. We will keep up with it, man. Tell me how y'all feel about it. Till the next one, man. Hey, I wanted to give a quick shout out on my social media here. If you have Twitter, man, give me a follow. It's at Whiteboy Lockdown Radio. I'm trying to build the follow up. My Instagram is Whiteboy Lockdown Merch. Twitch at Whiteboy Lockdown Radio. And the backup channel. The backup channel I will also leave in the description. It should be already there. Subscribe to my YouTube backup. Very important that you guys do this. I'm out next time. Tell me about the video and we'll keep up with it. Salute to everybody.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe, bitches.